It's big and yellow, so, consider buying yours now, fellow. Hi, I'm John. This is Two Brothers RC. That was a horrible attempt at rhyming, and this is the E-flite Super Timber.
Got it.
Okay, look, before one of you guys starts in, I'm gonna address the big yellow elephant in the room. Yes, it's another timber. I know that's not everybody's favorite banana, but I love timbers, and I got my start flying them. This is a natural evolution of the timber lineup that's bigger, flies better, and is even more capable now that it's compatible with 6-cell batteries. But look, just because Horizon sent this plane to demo doesn't mean that it isn't going to get an objective review. So, let's dive right into it. I get clowned on sometimes for complaining about hard wheels, but when I complain, people do hear me, and Horizon definitely listened.
We got a great poof on that one.
Man, this is proof that Horizon listens to like gomers like me that complain about the dumbest crap. Because look at these things. They're squishing. They're squishing. Oh yeah, look at them squish. Oh yeah, look at them go. Oh yeah. I like wheels like, what are you giving me a weird look for? I like wheels like this. I want my plane to not sound like a dumpster on the ground. Listen to this. Ooh, it's on hydros.
Oh,
Soul
yeah.
plane. Look at this. Get down here and give me this soul plane.
Oh yeah.
The suspension is the best that I've seen on a timber, with beefy springs and very little maintenance needed from what I could see.
That is really good gear system. I love the Tundra style wheels with the inflatable bush tires.
You will notice some bouncing on wheel landing attempts. I couldn't get mine to not bounce on wheel landings.
It do like to bounce,
Some extra bouncy wheels.
but they don't sound like a dumpster rolling down 5 flights of stairs, which makes it past the landing gear score part of this particular review that we're doing.
But I could avoid that behavior almost entirely in a 3-point landing. Since bush planes are traditionally 3-pointed for the best and shortest landing speed, I'm going to give it a pass here and call it a 5 out of 5 in the landing gear review.
Look at that grin.
I mean, I like timbers, so I mean, it's kind of hard to not like this. I've only flown it one time, and I'm sitting there with a stupid grin on my face the whole time. But it's fun. I mean, look at this. Look how good it looks.
You can reasonably expect upwards of 7 minutes of flight on the Super Timber, especially if you're not performing aggressive 3D maneuvers. Most pilots can expect closer to 10-minute flight times if you use larger batteries and are less aggressive in your piloting. On the Spektrum 3200 and 4000 batteries that we flew, the plane averaged about 5 minutes in 3D flying with lots of hovering. But that's still really good considering a lot of dedicated 3D airplanes also hit flight times similar to that too.
That's awesome. It's so stable. I love it, man. This plane is like the best of both worlds between a turbo timber and the twin timber. It's got like the single motor of the turbo, but the wings of the twin. Yeah, I can't speak when I try to fly. Oh my god, it's like a goose settling in on its little feet. That is so cool. I love this thing, and I'm so glad we get to do it with floats too.
With a 4-cell 4000 pack, I was also able to get close to 8 minutes of leisurely stall flying. I can't say enough good things about the Super Timber when it comes to agility. It's hoverable, I mean really hoverable. Don't try this at home, or do it anyhow because I'm not your dad. But it's definitely capable of being hover grabbed. The positionable battery tray makes it very easy to get a neutral to tail heavy center of gravity, which is perfect for my kind of flying. Guys, look, the flying that you're seeing here comes from a lot of practice and a willingness to crash and learn from crashing. You're seeing what the plane is capable of in my hands, but not every pilot is as capable as the plane is, and I still have plenty to learn to improve my own piloting, and that's okay. Everyone starts somewhere, and we're all plodding through this model aviation hobby at our own pace. And if you prefer a more positively stable airframe, or in fewer words, a nose-heavier one, the Super Timber flies great. It just has less tail authority, meaning that it's not as pitch or yaw sensitive, and it does make it more stable in wind. So definitely find what works for you with the center of gravity, and if you want to fly it like I do, work the center of gravity back slowly and experiment with more throw, but don't crash your plane on my account. You'll get there naturally if you keep at it. I did, and if I can do this, anyone can do it with enough practice, because practice does make perfect, as cliche as it sounds. That being said, the Super Timber checks off all of my boxes for agility. It isn't easy to stall, and it recovers from stalls without doing much more than releasing elevator pressure and leveling the plane off.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Had a close one there. Keep a clear head. You know, mistakes are going to happen even when you fly as much as I do, guys.
And it rotates easily for takeoff, while landings aren't a struggle either. CG is easy to achieve for any flying style because of the positional battery tray that opens it up to a bunch of different CG options, and there's plenty of thrust for those weirdos like me who enjoy flying planes in confined spaces. The Super Timber gets a 5 out of 5 for agility. Fit and finish is top-notch, as you would expect from any Horizon airframe. Like all timbers, it comes with CA hinges, and the wings are reinforced with plastic hinges too. The paint is impeccable, and the foam looks awesome up close. Plus, it ships with decals instead of stickers, and the decals stay put and they don't peel up on you. Super Timber gets a 5 out of 5 in the fit and finish department, which gives the plane an overall score of 20 out of 20. Horizon took note of every issue that earlier timbers suffered from and improved them. Better gear, better wheels, bigger wingspan, and a bigger wing chord with a better motor mount add up to ridiculously good value for $429. Or if you want to save a little bit of money and you have a receiver laying around, get the P&P version for $399. Going by the review metrics that I have to work with, Super Timber definitely earned the perfect review score, which is so far the only plane that's ever managed to do it under the new system that we use. Now, I can already hear the naysayers coming out to say that you can't trust early reviews and that John only gives perfect scores to airplanes that Horizon sends him. Look, I don't care if I had to buy it or if they're sent to me. I give them all the same treatment, which is an equitable review based on objective criteria that I can't fudge around with. I'm not perfect, and I'm far from that, if anything, but I do try to be as unbiased as I can be, and I don't ever want to knowingly mislead you guys, because I take what I do very seriously. I know that people trust me, and I know they trust me with their money, and that trust means a lot, so I'm not about to throw your trust away to recommend something that I couldn't personally stand behind, and I mean it when I say this plane is a 20 out of 20 based on all the review scoring that I had to work with. The floats clock in at $58 at the time this video was made, and the plane does come with the specific hardware bits it needs for those floats to attach to it correctly. If you don't like pure white floats, I recommend that you try Krylon Silver spray paint, and they'll look even cooler, but that's personal preference and all that. Another downside that I have to caution you about to consider here is that inflatable wheels can be punctured, so definitely bring a bicycle tire patch kit with you just in case. It's not likely to happen, but it can happen. During our Soul Plane bounce testing, the Super Timber landed sideways on the right wheel, which deflated it when the tire bead popped out of the rim.
Oh no!
Oh no.
I think we deflated one.
Did you pop it?
It's a minor annoyance though. All you have to do is reseat it and refill it if it happens to you.
So, just to be aware, not really a huge problem, but it is a kind of an issue with inflatable tires. It'll happen to your bicycle wheels too, and trust me, I've changed plenty of those in my life. Basically, what ended up happening right there was when we were playing Soul Plane with this plane, the bead popped loose. So it's actually pretty easy to put back in there. Liz just went ahead and pushed it in with her finger while I went to go grab the plane stand. We are good to go now. The tire didn't deflate, so we are back to doing some more Soul Plane. Perfect.
I highly recommend that you bring the pump when you fly in the event that something does happen. This is a 4 and 6 cell compatible airframe, and one unique feature it has compared to every other timber are the removable slats.
Pull the slats off. All you have to do, or put them on, just pop these out. Grab from the top, pop out. Grab from the top, pop out, pop out. And you take these, they have little teeth on here that grab onto a carbon fiber rod. And then you just slide them in and pop them in place one by one. There you go. All right, so we're gonna put in a Spektrum 4000 4-cell pack for less extreme flying, showing you guys the whole range of the envelope of what this plane can do, including float flying. When the floats come in, I'll get them installed. This is not gonna have the same amount of power as a 6-cell setup, but the stuff you saw me doing earlier, this is not gonna do, probably. We're gonna go ahead and run this further forward too, which is not something I would normally say to do, for me anyway, but for a plane where the center of gravity is going to be negatively affected by not having like the additional weight up front where it needs to be. It's gonna, I sound like an idiot. Basically, I'm just gonna make it more nose heavy by putting the battery further forward. Let's put it that way. All right. So now my CG is about where it was with the 6-cell pack. So balancing around the center of the two windows, the little painted on canopy joist thing, whatever you call those. That is there. That should be perfect. We're not going to have the same level of stall capability, but we'll see how the slats operate in the 4-cell configuration. I mean, you got plenty of power to fly with still. Oh, did you hear the slats whistle?
I heard the whoosh.
Yeah, but they also go shh. That's one thing that I miss from the Turbo Timber series. When I had the slats installed, you could, at high G maneuvering, you could make them whistle. Let's see if we can do it here.
Yeah.
Let's let it get closer. Isn't that awesome?
That's cool.
Oh, it stalled. You saw the airflow break over the one wing?
A little bit.
It also could have flown into its own turbulence too.
Yeah.
That is so, I don't get tired of that.
That was really cool.
Now honestly, on a 4-cell setup, there's really not that much of a difference. It just doesn't have the power to do the crazy stuff that I was doing earlier. Full flaps, bring it in, get it nice and low, and then we're just gonna yank the elevator, see what it does. Dude, that was full peg deck, and it just dropped. Not bad.
It's definitely a very capable bird in a 4-cell configuration,
Okay, let's get the
though
flaps
it
going
will be
again.
harder to taxi out of taller grass with less available thrust.
It sounds like an eagle screeching.
Something.
Now let's showcase the difference between the roll. Actually, the roll rate's significantly impacted by the lack of the airspeed from the 4-cell and the, what do you call it? The slats as well. So the slats and the 4-cell system are kind of combining to slow down the roll rate a bit. So let's show you the difference with the roll rate between, like, there's full span ailerons. Okay, now we're turning it off. There's your roll rate with regular ailerons. Okay, it's about 2.5 to 3 times as much, but the slats do interfere with the roll rate a bit. Just a little bit. This is something I've noticed with all timbers. One thing I need to do is test and see if it affects the ability to get out of a flat spin. We're gonna go up real high for this because the last time I did some stuff like this, the plane took a minute or two to recover. Okay, with the slats, that is. Flat spin time. Yeah, the slats definitely do make it take a moment or two of extra time to recover. So if you are going to do flat spins and other goofy stuff like that, just be aware that it does take a little bit more time to get up to speed to get out of it. If I had done that closer to the trees, if I hadn't timed it just right, it would have gone into the trees. The slats are great if you want to do stall. They are not great if you want to do aerobatics, although they do sound cool when they whistle though. I love thrust reverse. Verdict, I would say, on the 4-cell system, if you want to do more scale flying, then this is definitely the way to do it. Me, whatever, man. I want the power, so I'm going to run it on 6-cell packs and have fun with it. All it really comes up to you, though. What you want to do with your plane, is what you should choose to do. So, I mean, it sounds like stating the obvious, right? But there is a contingent of people out there like, you should fly it this way, you should do it that way. Do whatever makes you happy. Nobody else bought the plane for you except for you. Do what you want to do, man. Just have fun. If you like to fly slow, go 4 cells. If you like to fly fast and do acro and hover and a lot of the goofy stuff, go with 6. Honestly, I did like the way 6 flew better, and I do like it without the slats a little bit more, but that's just me personally, and there's so many different ways to make people happy in this hobby.
Wrapping up here before we move on to the really fast setup guide covering full span ailerons, another significant upgrade to the timber I want to mention is a quick connect system on the wing servo leads, and a latch system to secure the wings to the fuselage. This is a first in the timber line. Even the major timber SWS doesn't have this feature. This alone makes setting up a timber at the field both tool-free and really fast. Before you can follow along with this setup guide, you need to separate the flap servo leads. The upcoming info on channel assign will show you where to plug them in. Before you can do that, you need to adjust the flap servo arms to match the aileron arm position, and you need to move the ball link to the outermost hole. That way the flaps will move up and down, matching the aileron travel almost exactly. Once you've adjusted the servo arms and ball links, adjust the linkages until the flaps are neutral with the ailerons. Once everything looks good, put the servo cover back in place and screw it down tight. Now you're ready for the transmitter setup. Moving on to the super fast setup guide, the way I handled full span ailerons is by unlocking the receiver. This is done by following the Spektrum Unlock AR637TA YouTube video linked in the description. In setting the aircraft type and the transmitter to 2 flaps, 1 aileron, then going into channel assign and placing the flap servo leads into the correct ports shown on channel assign, then moving the flap gear channels around to match the 6-channel setup that the plane comes with stock. Note that you do need to reprogram the receiver to do this. If this is confusing to you, consider hopping on Discord and we'll help you out in the Tech and Setup channel. The link to our Discord server is in the description too. The next step after that is to enter the mixing menu and create a new mix, which is aileron to left flap, -100 and -100. Set that mix to the switch that you prefer, and now you've got full span ailerons. You'll want to have a lot of expo for this, but it turns the Super Timber into a real beast of a plane. Thanks for watching, and let us know what you think in the comments, and consider joining up on the Two Brothers Discord server. We'd love to have you. I put a bunch of work into these reviews and setup guides, and if you want to support what we do here at Two Brothers RC, please consider picking up your own Super Timber via the links in the description below. We appreciate each and every one of our supporters and look forward to bringing more content like this to you next time. See you at Joe Nall this weekend.